I'm turning that sausage off because that's going to be done. All right, and I'm going to do one more green pepper. I'm actually going to cut this in half. Again, top, bottom, throw away the top. Ooh, go into the side. Make sure you're not spending too much time on the libations when you do this first. Get this cutting done. I do them in thick strips. So I do them about 1/2 inch, a little bit less. I don't like the rib. And then I just cut those up, and I'm going to lay, oops, there's another one. And then you can do it with your knuckles. And this looks beautiful on the pie when you do it. All right. Put those in. And these little guys I just do as circles. Circles, all circles, all circles. Who doesn't love pizza? I mean, I gotta tell you, pizza's great. And making your homemade pizza is the best. Because I think there's too much cheese on pizza that you buy out. And I think what makes pizza is the sauce and the protein, if you want protein on it, and the roasted vegetables. It is not the cheese. Although cheese is delicious, don't get me wrong. So, all right. Got that on medium-high. Little olive oil. Paul's right, I gotta add up my olive oil. All right, my grandmother used to drink it. Can you imagine that? They drank it. I know, they did. She couldn't do it, so she switched to butter. She switched to butter, and my Nana, my father's mother, is 97 years old. And she eats butter all the time. She loves her butter, but she cannot stand olive oil anymore. Now this is our sausage. And I'm actually going to use that grease to cook it. And you know what, Paul? I already calculated my turkey that had the fat in it, so it doesn't change my calorie count. So, onions. And I'm going to start to cry. The best way to chop onions and not cry is to have contact lenses on. But I didn't wear mine today stupidly. So I'm going to cut these, and I'm going to have to stop in a second when I start to cry. So just cut down the side. Cut the root ends off, so to speak. And then take the knife and slice into the skin. And then you just peel that off. Now, when I get an onion like that, like to me, you know what? That's got like an extra little nasty thing going on. I don't know what that is. I'm going to take that off. I don't want that. You can also just cut this in half and peel it this way. Just some tight onions. I can hear my green peppers sizzling in the background, so I'm going to check them. And you'll see with the cast iron skillet, see what happens? They start to get roasted. So they got the hot oil in the pan, and then you're starting to get a nice, really beautiful roasted green pepper that's going to be delicious on the pizza. But be careful, because if you let this go too much, they can burn pretty quickly. And again, don't be afraid. Go back and forth with your temperature. It's, just because you set it that way, your food is changing as it cooks. So, start it at high, bring it to medium. Don't think you just sort of set it and forget it. You don't. That's not cooking. You got to manage it. Woo! Gonna start crying. Somebody tell me a sad story. It's so sad. All right, here we go. Onion. All I'm gonna do, I've got the end piece to the end piece, so where the root was, and then I'm just gonna chop it this way. So it's lengthwise. We're not dicing it. I want, and I don't want rings. What I want is these short little pieces like that. Watch your knuckles. And in fact, this actually isn't a great knife to use for this. I actually like my chef's knife for this. So I'm going to cut this. And away we go. Watch your knuckles. Okay, I'm not adding any olive oil to the onions. I'm just going to use the grease from my turkey sausage. Woo! Man, it's actually not as bad as usual. All right. All right. How you doing, Rosie? Woo, Rosie, we're getting some pizza. All right. I take my basil, sort of roll it up into like a cigar, sort of, a bad cigar, and then I just cut the edges. Cut the edges. I cut it into ribbon. I don't even know what I'm saying. There we go. And then we have this beautiful basil. And of course, do I have a bowl for it? No. Got my basil. I got my basil. I got Rosie. I got pizza. What else do you need? All right, I'm going back to my vegetables. My sauce is boiling. I'm turning it down. In fact, I'm putting it on a number 1. I don't want it to boil. I'm going to stir it up a little bit. So see that? It's steaming. It was bubbling a little bit. Everything's mixed together. I want to make sure there's no paste in there. God, that smells good. And I'm going to leave the lid off because I want some of the moisture to evaporate out of the tomatoes. So here's where we are with the green peppers. Still not totally there. They're not really soft enough yet. You could even put a lid on these. In fact, if I had a lid close by, I would. But you don't need to. But see that? To get nice and roasted. That's still fine, even though it's like that. I wouldn't worry about it. I use kosher salt, although, you know, there's been a big movement about going back to the table salt so that you can get, iodized salt. You get iodine in your body. And I guess all of us switching to kosher salt has led to a deficiency in that. And the easiest way to get that back is to eat table salt. But it's very salty, so I like the kosher salt because I feel like I can control a little better. A little salt on the peppers, a little salt on the onions. Now my onions now need a little bit of olive oil. And I'm going to turn them down. I've turned them to a 5 on my kitchen oven. Let me show you where we are with the onions. So they're getting there. They pick up some of the nice grease from the turkey sausage. And these are roasting too. And that's what's so beautiful about these cast iron skillets. I mean, they really just roast your vegetables. And they're going to make me cry because I just stuck my face in it. But break that up a little bit. All right, these are going to go back on. All I'm going to do with these guys is slice them lengthwise. And they're going to go on the top of the pizza. And this is really great because not only do I have the diced the diced tomatoes that are in the pizza sauce, but then I put these on top. I used to do a layer of tomatoes in the deep dish pizza, but you know what? It was too soggy. You really got to control the moisture in a deep dish pizza. There's a lot going on, a lot of layers. So I'm just going to slice these up lengthwise. And what I actually think I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of water in my onions and my green peppers to soften those up a little bit with steam. So I'm going to get some water here. Put a little bit in the pan. A little bit in the pan. I want to speed it up. I want to soften them up. And I want to mess up my stove. There's a little bit there. It's all going to go away. And look at those juice. I don't know if you can see that, but it also deglazes your pan so you get all that beautiful flavor out of the bottom. Put that back on. My onions are going. I'm going to turn these onions back up. Again, I'm just monitoring because what's happening is the onions are sweating. I put a little moisture in them. They release some of the moisture. It's fine. I can turn the onions up because there's plenty of water or plenty of moisture in the pan. It's not going to burn up. Now we're going to cut the tomatoes. Ooh, I almost missed it in my finger. And I still love, I definitely love a thin crust pizza, but I've always put so much stuff on my thin crust pizza that I thought, you know, why don't I just do a deep dish so that I can do all of the layers. Going back to my vegetables again. Let's take a look at the onions again. You can see they're getting nice. They're getting not really caramelized so much. They're getting there though. But I don't have any butter. It's easier to caramelize onions when you got butter. But this is just the heat of this beautiful pan. Getting me very nice. And then let's check the green peppers. And I can smell the roastedness. These are, I mean, you know what? This is like doing them on the grill. If you were to do peppers on the grill, it smells like a pepper on the grill. It's delicious. All right. Now, one thing I want to point out too is I'm going to put the pizza dough in my cast iron skillet. So I actually like to use the same skillet that I'm doing the vegetables in because I want my pan to already be heated up. The mushrooms, really simple. Chop, chop. Be careful of your fingers. And into the bowl they go. I always do my mushrooms last because I'm going to put these into the skillet that has all that delicious flavor from the green peppers, and my mushrooms are going to soak up any of the flavor that's inside the pan. They release a lot of moisture, and then basically I'm deglazing the pan. My mushrooms are ready to go. I'm going to take my green peppers off, and magically my cornmeal appeal. This is what you're going to need to put on your pizza paddle, because this is what's going to slide the pizza right off the side. So put that off to the side. My green peppers are done because they're going to go on the top of my pizza, so they're definitely going to get some roasting. And there's a little bit of stickiness on the pan, you can see that. All right, and I'm going to put my mushrooms right into the pan and get those going. I made it look like that pan was really light, didn't I? And can I tell you, that is one heavy pan. My mother doesn't use them anymore because they're too heavy for her, which I understand. And I think the onions are good too. And I'm going to use my onion pan, as the pan that I use for my, actually I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to use the one with the mushrooms because the mushrooms are going to clean off this stuff and I don't want the dough to burn. So let me get a bowl for this. You know what? Working in the kitchen, you lose weight working in the kitchen. It's like walking in the city street, I think. Anyway. All right, this is heavy. I can't lift this pan right now. So I'm going to take this. My colleague in my marketing department at my day job says I'm a bit of a spaz. And I'm doing this going, she's right, I am sort of a spaz. But you know, when I'm in the kitchen again, as I told you before, when you're cooking healthy or you're making homemade stuff, this is one, oh Rosie, look out baby. This is one of the beauties, is to cook for yourself. Cook while your friends are here. It's social. It's fun. As somebody once said, cooking is the original social network, right? You shared with everybody. You gave them food. Mushrooms get to a stage where all of a sudden, right now you'll see some of these are starting to get a little more translucent. All of a sudden, boosh, they release all of their moisture. It evaporates, and then they start to brown up. These are a little bit brown because I had the green peppers. I don't know if you can see that, because they had the green peppers in it. But you want them to release their moisture because you don't want them releasing that moisture when they're inside of your pizza. So we're definitely going to cook these. Whoa, once again. Good thing I've been working out and can lift that pan. All right, cheese is what I get. I get this at the Jewel Osco. Part skim mozzarella, 1 ounce is 80 calories. 80 calories and 1 ounce of this cheese. So we are going to actually use, for this pizza, let me get my recipe here. I think we're only going to do 6 ounces because I get 6 slices of pizza out of this and I want to do basically, so I'm calculating 1 ounce per person. So yes, 6 ounces of part skim mozzarella. Sometimes I do a mixture of cheddar cheese, Parmesan cheese, and the part skim mozzarella. That's also good too, but I wanted to be able to calculate the calories for you, so I just used this one pizza. But mixing up your cheeses is good, which is very nice.